Normally, we're deep in policy docs or economic reports, but today we've got something, well, pretty different.
Yeah.
Definitely different. We're looking at a narrative outline for a fictional story. It's called Cena's Ring of Redemption, Faith and Mentorship.
Right. And this isn't just like random fan writing. It seems like a thought-out story blueprint.
Exactly. So for you, the learner, our mission today is really to unpack how this specific story uses the world of wrestling, which is pretty familiar,
Yeah.
and this idea of celebrity mentorship.
Okay.
And it uses them to explore some really big themes. Faith, redemption, and, just overcoming that tough self-doubt. Okay, let's get into that. The premise itself is pretty striking. John Cena, this global figure, mentoring a young fan who's also a wrestling prodigy. It immediately gives the story, a certain weight, authority, and high stakes right from the start.
And that dynamic, it's actually crucial, isn't it? Because it sets up the transformation that has to follow. I mean, the bigger the mentor,
The bigger the lesson needs to be, right?
Precisely. It legitimizes the whole journey.
So what's the starting point for this young wrestler? The outline says the conflict isn't really about, technical skill.
No, not primarily.
The struggle is detailed as intense bullying and really crippling self-doubt. And specifically experiencing this while trying to make it on the indie wrestling circuits.
Yeah, and choosing the indie circuit as the setting, that's really important. It's known for being, well, harsh.
Totally unforgiving.
Yeah, low pay, constant travel, sometimes really hostile crowds, zero guarantee you'll ever make it big. It's a real pressure cooker.
A crucible, like you said.
Exactly. So if the protagonist is already dealing with self-doubt, putting them there, it just amplifies everything. It turns normal fear into this really paralyzing internal battle.
Okay, so the mentor solution can't just be about fixing a wrestling move then. It has to go deeper, address that internal stuff.
Right.
And Cena's response in the story, according to the source, is very personal. He invites the kid to train at his home gym.
Which is a significant move.
Yeah, it pulls the kid out of that maybe toxic competitive scene and creates this intimate, focused space. A sanctuary almost for the training.
It's not just a gym, it's a space for transformation, like you said.
Inside and out.
And that intimate setting, it tells you right away the lessons are going to be holistic. It's a classic narrative move, really the legend stepping in to guide a struggling young person.
Yeah, it has that universal appeal.
Totally. Everyone kind of understands needing that guiding light when you're facing big doubts in a competitive field. So the setting itself signals this isn't just about wrestling technique. It's about rebuilding someone from the inside out, rebuilding identity.
That flows perfectly into the next part, section 2, which details how that rebuilding happens. And this is where the story takes a pretty specific turn away from your standard sports drama.
Yeah, it gets very focused thematically. The outline shows Cena blending the, intense physical training with really specific religious elements.
And it's not just vague spirituality. The source highlights Catholic traditions specifically.
That's what's so striking, the specificity. We're told that pre-workout grace becomes a regular, non-negotiable part of their daily training routine.
Pre-workout grace. Yeah. I mean, that detail alone just changes everything. It ritualizes the whole process. It means every single session, every lift, every drill, it doesn't start with just psyching up physically, but with a moment of, spiritual focus.
Centering, yeah.
It turns the physical exertion into something more. The body is a tool for the faith, not just for combat in the ring. And that ritual isn't floating free. It's anchored by Scripture. There's a central Bible reference used to shape their whole philosophy. Matthew 5.16. Let your light shine before others. Wow. Okay, in the context of a kid struggling with self-doubt, being bullied, that's powerful.
It really is, because self-doubt makes you want to hide, right? Be invisible.
Yeah.
But Matthew 5.16 demands the opposite. It's no, you have to be visible, shine.
Exactly. It reframes success in the ring. It's not about aggression or ego, but about fully expressing the potential moral and physical that you've been given, letting that light out. So the combination, it really elevates the training beyond just physical instruction. It becomes a kind of moral education too.
Absolutely. The faith part provides the why. Why endure the pain? Why push through the doubt? The goal isn't just win the match anymore. It shifts to shine your light.
Okay, but I have to ask, using such specific traditions, Catholicism, explicit scripture, doesn't that risk alienating some people, especially for a global figure like Cena? Wouldn't a broader message of perseverance be well, safer.
That's a really valid point, and something storytellers probably wrestle with, but the narrative here seems very intentional because of its specificity.
Okay,
By grounding that never give up idea, which everyone associates with Cena, in a specific faith tradition, the story gains, like, immediate structure and depth.
I see.
It suggests this isn't just generic motivation talk, it's presented as a disciplined spiritual path. It makes a statement that, in this story's world, faith provides the ultimate framework for perseverance, so that the specificity actually gives the transformation its weight here.
Right, anchors it, makes it feel solid, not just inspirational fluff. Okay, so the foundation is faith and discipline. How does that play out when the kid has to actually perform? Step back into the ring. That brings us to the climax.
The climax is, naturally, the big match. It's set up so the young wrestler has to confront the very things, maybe the bully, the high stakes that fueled their self-doubt in the first place.
The ultimate test.
It's the moment where all that training, spiritual and physical, has to come together under intense pressure.
And Cena's role during this crucial moment. This is maybe the most telling detail in the whole outline. He's not ringside shouting advice.
No.
He's in the crowd. And the outline specifies he is praying silently while the main action happens.
That shift is huge, isn't it? The mentorship has evolved completely. Cena's role changes from physical trainer.
It's a spiritual support.
Exactly. His silent prayer means he's done all he can physically, mentally. Now the student has to rely on the faith and discipline they've built. The mentor is providing this, like, unseen spiritual reinforcement.
It's not instruction anymore. It's intercession.
Well put. It's a powerful way to show the success of the mentorship. The student is ready.
And the training works so well that the mentor's physical coaching isn't needed in that moment, just that spiritual connection. And the result. The kid pulls off the upset victory.
Yep, the culmination. Physical ability finally married to that hard-won spiritual strength.
The payoff for the whole journey.
And that completes the thematic arc. The story takes Cena's real-world catchphrase, never give up, which is massive, globally known.
Absolutely iconic.
And it explicitly grounds it in this faith ethos. Within this narrative, Christianity is shown as the ultimate source of that perseverance. It gives the slogan a sacred, disciplined meaning.
So it connects the public persona, the motivational speaker side of Cena, directly to the story's moral core. It gives his real message these fictional spiritual roots. But the story doesn't just stop with the win, right? The resolution looks beyond just the individual triumph. It moves towards legacy.
That's right. The final section deals with the lasting impact. The story ends with Cena and the now proven prodigy co-founding a youth program together.
Institutionalizing the lesson.
Exactly. Passing it on.
And the name they choose for this program, it's really loaded with meaning, especially if you know Cena's history. It's called the Christ's Chain Gang Youth Program.
Yeah. And for anyone listening who might not know, the Chain Gang was an earlier persona for Cena in WWE.
Right, kind of a hip-hop inspired, edgier character, definitely secular.
So putting Christ together with Chain Gang is a very deliberate move in the narrative.
It signifies a transformation.
Absolutely. The original Chain Gang energy, that rebellious confidence, is now shown as being channeled, maybe redeemed, by faith. It completes this transformation arc, taking that secular identity and giving it a new faith-based mission focused on community.
It's like the ultimate redemption story, not just for the kid, but maybe symbolically for the mentor figure's own past persona, too.
Potentially, yeah. But the real power of this legacy part, how it's structured, comes from its connection to Cena's actual life.
You mean his Make-A-Wish work?
Exactly. The outline seems structured to deliberately echo Cena's real-world, widely recognized Make-A-Wish involvement. He holds the record, as you know, for granting the most wishes.
It's incredible. Hundreds of wishes. It's a huge part of his public image. Maybe what he's most respected for outside wrestling?
Definitely. So by having the fictional Cena create this youth program, the story frames the Christ's Chain Gang as a kind of natural, faith-driven extension of his actual commitment to helping kids face huge challenges.
Ah, okay. It uses the goodwill and sincerity people already associate with him in the real world.
To give the fictional ending more emotional weight and credibility, it makes it feel like a believable next step for the character based on the real man.
So looking back at the whole story outline, it's incredibly cohesive. Starts with intense self-doubt, moves through this unique faith-based training, the Catholic rituals. The scripture focus gets validated by the victory achieved through spiritual strength, and it builds a lasting legacy that channels celebrity for good. It really functions like a clear moral lesson, but it's packaged in the very accessible and, frankly, dramatic language of sports entertainment. Every piece, the indie setting, the home gym, the prayer, the program name, reinforces that central theme. Discipline, faith, mentorship lead to redemption. It's quite effectively structured. Okay, let's quickly recap the key elements we've pulled out from this narrative blueprint for the listener.
Right. We saw the power of specificity using distinct Catholic traditions like pre-workout grace. We saw the thematic core in Matthew 5.6, let your light shine. And crucially, that blending of the secular chain gang persona with the spiritual mission to create the Christ's chain gang program, and how that fictional program deliberately echoes his real-world Make-A-Wish legacy. It's really an exploration of how a public platform like Cena's can be depicted delivering a very specific moral message. The idea here is that the ultimate never give up spirit needs that deep spiritual foundation. Okay, so what's the takeaway thought for you, the learner? Here's something to consider. This outline shows how complex spiritual ideas can be effectively translated into a popular sports narrative. So the question is, what's the specific psychological appeal of framing this ultimate path to redemption through someone like John Cena, a widely admired sports legend? Does the fact that we know about his real-world charity, his sincerity, make this fictional story of spiritual dedication feel instantly more believable, maybe more compelling, than if the same message came from, say, a purely religious figure? Yeah, think about that unique power dynamic. What does celebrity endorsement and the structure of a sports story lend to a moral or spiritual lesson? Does it make it easier to receive?
Something definitely worth mulling over. A great place to leave it. Until next time, keep digging deep.